What it do, y'all? It's your guy Bendu coming at y'all with another video today, and we are continuing our coverage of Daredevil Born Again Season 2. Let's go ahead and get into it, bro, because episode 4, this episode is really fucking good, yo. Like, for this to be a Bullseye-centered episode, I was excited about that, because once the episode started, I was like, oh, okay, we're getting one of those. Because we got, like, I want to say 1 or 2 episodes like that for Bullseye in the original Netflix series, and they were amazing then as well. Like, I really love, I think the guy's name is Wilson Bethel, if I'm not mistaken. I really love his interpretation of the character. And I know, like, the bar previously to him was Colin Farrell, and I love Colin Farrell, but that was not Bullseye. No.
Bullseye.
No. So I really love the detail and attention that Wilson Bethel and the writers of the original Netflix show really put onto the character of Bullseye, and not just establishing Bullseye first, but establishing Dex first as a person, as an actual human being, his motivations and why he is the way he is, and in many ways, like, putting up a, you know, dark, twisted, broken mirror of Matt, like, because that's essentially what they build him as in the original Daredevil show. And seeing them really dive into his psyche by, like, starting off with this, like, you know, it kind of reminded me of the raindrops are falling on my head scene from Spider-Man 2, but like with like a crazy person. So it's like, oh, this motherfucker like has killed a lot of fucking people, but he kind of seems normal. Like, he's feeding a cat egg, and but while he's feeding the cat the eggs, I'm like, oh, okay. At the same time, I'm like, oh, dude, I hope he doesn't strangle this woman with her cat, or like throw her cat, you know, kill her by throwing her cat at her or some shit like that. Some crazy wild shit. But like, seeing him, the progression of him going through his day, and then eventually getting to the diner and luring the anti-vigilante task force there, all of that stuff was amazing. And then that fight scene, dude, that fight scene is insane. I never thought that I would see a show where a person would get killed via lobster, but we got that. It was beautiful to watch. Like, man, I really love the intricacies and how they've, you know, choreographed these fight scenes. That was the issue that I had with episode 1 and 2, was the fight scenes, and the quality of these action sequences have just been going up and up, and overall with the quality of the show, period. Because, you know, y'all know, like I said, y'all know I have my episodes with or my issues with episodes 1 and 2, but now that they're bridging the gap between the Netflix show and the Disney era show, the Born Again era, and I feel like they're doing it in a very, very, very good way now, because they're taking some of the beats that the Netflix show did, even though I wish they would give more shine to the side characters more. I really do like how, like, they are, like, when they do show you a main character, they do take their time with the main character, and I do appreciate that a lot. Again, like, some of the issues are still there. Like, I feel like for Matthew Lillard to, like, the introduction he had in this show, like, for this, I feel like this is the first time we've seen him since the first episode. Am I tripping? But I feel like that's the case, and the scene was amazing. Like, you know, Matthew Lillard got to do some, like, shady CIA guy shit, and Wilson Fisk got to do some epic Wilson Fisk shit, and we get to see that Buck Cashman is, like, I feel like Buck is the person Wilson Fisk has been, like, building out, like, the perfect henchman, but it's like, again, they're not giving the side characters enough time to breathe. Like, you know, the original Netflix show, like Wesley, for example, right? Because I feel like Buck Cashman is the perfect amalgamation of Wesley. It's like he has the mentality and the gravitas and swagger of Wesley, but with the deadly skills of, like, a Bullseye or any of the, you know, many assassins that Fisk has used throughout his criminal career. And I feel like Buck Cashman is the perfect simpatico of that. And I feel like he's an interesting character, but again, we're not getting enough time with him. We're getting scenes here and there with him and Michael Gandolfini's character, but, like, I need more, because he's interesting, he's dope. I would like to, I can't wait to see a confrontation, a fight between him and Daredevil. Like, let's be clear, Matt's gonna wash him, you know, but he seems capable, like, and able to hold his own in many regards. In many ways, he kind of like his skill set kind of reminds me of like an Agent Zero, but you know, I like from the that god awful X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. He gives me vibes of that, but better. Like what they tried to make that character in X-Men Origins. Like, you know, this guy is good, but he's not like Bullseye good. He's not like Matt good. You feel me? Like Agent Zero was good, but he's not Wolverine good. You know, so it's like, it's dope to see that kind of character, but I feel like he could be what Wesley was in the original Netflix show, but they're just not giving him enough time to really do that. And but that scene where he takes out Matthew Lillard's guys and shit like that, you can tell Matthew Lillard, like, even though the character composed himself, like that exhale, like where he like kind of shit his pants afterwards, was kind of funny to see. And you know, scenes like that where characters get to be intrinsically who they are is what I'm really loving. Is what I'm really loving about this show. And you know, also it was very interesting to see Matt go undercover, like wearing the AVTF like uniform and shit like that, because when he first came on screen I thought it was just another agent, but then I'm like, oh, that's Matt. I was like, oh shit, all right, bet this is dope. He's doing his detectiving type of stuff, very Batman-esque if you ask me. Even though we don't get it a lot in the movies, in the comics Batman would wear disguises and go undercover to conduct investigations. Like famously, one of his, you know, greatest personas is Matches Malone, but we don't, you know, it's like they kind of done that in the movies. Like for example, in Batman Begins, like before he came back to Gotham and he was like kind of like getting the lay of the land and shit like that, you see him with his listening device and the hoodie on. I would say, okay, that's kind of Matches Malone. And then when you got Robert Pattinson with his whole like, you know, moody bike riding through Gotham and walking through the crowd and shit like that, I guess that you can kind of consider that Matches Malone. But I hope James Gunn, just a quick I know we're talking Marvel and Daredevil, but I hope James Gunn gives us a tried and true Matches Malone at some point during the movie. But regardless, back to Daredevil. I'm talking about Daredevil. Like, I like how he's investigating, you know, the whole diner fight. And by the way, the whole way Bullseye got the AVTF to show up was by saying Frank Castle was there, and like, them niggas is gonna pull up for Frank Castle, because like Matt said, if Kingpin is able to kill Frank Castle, he's definitely gonna like, Kingpin gonna be like, yeah, look at this. He gonna pop his shit if he do that. He gonna bang his set if he kill Punisher. So, you know, they looking for that motherfucker. And then all the police that he killed and shit like that, yeah, they gonna look for him. But yeah, bro, like seeing him do the investigation, going back to his old church, you know, like there's history there, we know, because of the Netflix series. But if you've never seen the Netflix series and you're just watching how the characters react in this church, like, you understand there's something there. There's a there. Something in the past happened to this character in this location. And even though they did do the flashbacks of Matt as a kid, and Matt is like, you know, not so subtly saying like, hey, I'm Matt Murdock, I'm that blind kid, when he gives the whole speech to the priest and everything, that was still dope to see. And how that eventually leads him to Bullseye's apartment, which, man, even though it was short, that apartment fight scene was sick, bro. That shit was sick. Like, again, it kind of shows you how Bullseye is kind of like deluding himself into believing he's a good guy. And I genuinely do believe Dex is trying to atone for the things that he's done, obviously in his own fucking way, his own twisted, deluded way. But, you know, you got to realize he's a character who's easily, like, it's easy to manipulate him. So that's why he has this hard on to kill Vanessa Fisk, even more so than Fisk right now, because she was the last person that set him loose and made him do something that it seems like he regrets killing Foggy. That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like to me. I may be wrong. Just like I was wrong about Fisk last season when I said maybe Fisk is trying to turn over a new leaf. And as we see now, that nigga's not. Yo, he's still the same old dog. So it may be the same case with Bullseye, but given how he's been acting throughout the season and now in this episode, I do get a genuine sense, again, in his own deluded, twisted way, that he's trying to seek atonement or redemption, you know, pay a penance somehow. And I, you know, whatever. And then all of this is going on with the backdrop of the whole boxing match. And after this motherfucker Fisk done killed his trainer, if I'm the boxer and I heard that this nigga's trainer went missing, I'm like, oh nah, call the fight, bro. Call the fight. Bro, look, man, the only person that you can really get the fuck up Fisk is probably prime Mike Tyson, bro. Maybe Floyd, because then Floyd, he not gonna touch Floyd. Bro, I'll tell you that right now. He can sit there and yell and scream and Vanessa this all he wants to. You ain't touching Floyd, bro. I like Floyd could probably dodge a bullet. So those are the only two motherfuckers I think could get in the ring with Fisk and survive. And it's like, yeah, the whole backdrop of the boxing match, again, is very, like, it harkens to a lot of what's going on in the real world right now. But seeing the ridiculousness of that and everybody knowing how ridiculous this is, but this kind of being like a celebration of Fisk's ego, is like him flaunting to his enemies, you know, like, yo, like this, I'm here, bro. Like, I'm the kingpin, but legally now, you know. That was really dope to see. And the whole backdrop of Vanessa going to see the mayor and all that shit, it left me thinking like, yo, is something bad gonna happen to Vanessa? Because the line where the mayor was like, yo, you're the one that can keep him in check, basically, yada, so I'll throw my support behind him, when she went to go get the mayor's support, I was like, that is a steaming load of foreshadowing right there. I feel like something's going to happen, and as we know, it does, because at the boxing match, even though Fisk did not want Vanessa to go there, she wound up going there, showing up in white. And once she showed up in that white, I was like, ooh, because that's his favorite color. I was like, ooh, yeah, nah, bro, something about to happen. And then of course it does. Like, now the way they executed this, I didn't like the way how Bullseye was just like, oh, what's Bullseye's plan to get in there and try and kill Vanessa and Fisk? I'm just gonna walk through the fucking front door. It's like, you know, and they made it a point to say that all this security is here. And I know that Bullseye is skilled, but it would have been interesting to still see him, because Bullseye is also smart and tactful. You know, he's not a dummy. So it's like, I felt like that was kind of weird, because last season when he broke into the ball, I think it was like the mayor's ball or whatever, where Matt got shot, where Bullseye shot Matt. I feel like, you know, they went the miles to show like, oh, okay, he's wearing a guard's uniform or a cop's uniform, whatever. So like the fact that they didn't do something similar to that here was kind of weird, but whatever, because I liked that whole sequence a lot, bro. I really love that sequence. And, you know, even before, before the whole situation goes down with Vanessa, seeing the slow motion, seeing the chaos ensue as Bullseye is going through the crowd, because he's also not killing people, which is crazy. It shows you that when he kills people like random, so like in season 1 when he killed all those people in the bar randomly, that wasn't a fucking accident, that was on purpose, because he's in a crowd full of people running around with all this chaos, and he's still able to be pinpoint precise and kill exactly who he wants to kill. So that, like, seeing the detail of that, and really it really, like, that shit like that shows you the type of character and the mindset of Bullseye. I really enjoyed that. And then obviously Daredevil rushes in too late, I would say. And yeah, man, like seeing Matt crash in and seeing Fisk kind of like react, because Fisk was about to peel Dex's muffin cap back blue, bro. He had that gun ready. And I think that's the first time we've ever seen Kingpin use a gun in both the Netflix series and like any time throughout Kingpin's appearances. We've never seen that nigga use a gun. Keep that in mind. Like, which is, I think, adds to more of my theory that, you know, I'm not saying that he had the super soldier serum in the Netflix series, because obviously he didn't. My theory is that at some point around Hawkeye, whether it was before the events of the Hawkeye series or after the events of the Hawkeye series, he got some variation of a super soldier serum, maybe like a low dose that gives him an extra little boost or whatever. And as y'all know, I think Sharon Carter is going to play. I think Fisk is not a person that will rely on one avenue of support. So I can see him, okay, I got the legal route support from Val, but I know this bitch shady, so I'm gonna go over here to my criminal underworld and Madripoor, and I'm gonna reach out to the power broker. He may not even know who Sharon is, you know, because it would be dope if they had an interaction somehow, and like we know she's the power broker, but Fisk doesn't know that she's the power broker. That would be dope. But y'all know I think she's involved somehow. But regardless, man. And then we get the this hotly debated scene before we get to the Vanessa stuff. We get this hotly debated scene on whether that was the Watcher that popped up. So when Matt and Bullseye crashed through the glass of Fogwell's gym, and by the way, Fisk having it at Fogwell's gym. King Petty, we call this nigga Kingpin. We might need to call him King Petty, because he's just like, yo, any opportunity I can take to shit on my ops, I'm going to do it. Like, yo, that is Fisk, bro. I love it, but that shit's crazy. But when Matt and Dex crash through the window, it kind of makes the silhouette of the Watcher. Now, some people were saying, oh, that's just a happenstance and shit like that, and it may have been, but I think like the head of Marvel TV, he basically came out and kind of confirmed, like, yeah, this is the Watcher. He put up like an Instagram post saying like always watching or some shit like that. So that would be dope, because then it kind of plays into the Spider-Verse stuff where, you know, basically they kind of like, you know, subtly implied that Kingpin's wife and kid, or just wife in general, because he just has a wife in this universe, like his wife Vanessa dying is a canon event. So I don't know. That would be interesting if that was the case. And if the Watcher, like, this was a super important event, so the Watcher was there watching, like, that would be super interesting. Because at this point, I think we've only seen him in like the sky appearing in places, but you got to remember, he's a metaphysical entity. Like, so he can like metaphysically appear somehow, like kind of like how, like, if you've ever watched Sandman or read the Sandman comics, like Dream and shit like that. So yeah, it's kind of like that. But regardless, and oh man, yo, Vanessa, bro, like, if she's dead, which I think she is, because like that shit was in her head, and also the whole motif of the blood spilling on the portrait, almost as if she's like a living representation of the rabbit in a snowstorm painting. Beautiful. Yes, that is aunt. Beautiful. And I don't even know if I said that shit right, but fuck it. But yeah, bro, like, if she's dead, matter of fact, even if she's not dead, there's going to be hell to pay. But if she's dead, oh, all hell is about to break loose in New York, bro. You killed Vanessa. Like, yo, he decapitated a nigga with a car door because he embarrassed him on a date with her. Y'all niggas killed her. Oh, nah, bro. All hell is about to break loose. And I think that that's how we're going to get some Defenders characters in the show, because now where Fisk was probably leaving them alone because they weren't, like, he's gonna go after Matt and Frank because Matt and Frank are actively like antagonizing him, but he's probably leaving Luke Cage alone because, as we know, Luke Cage at the end of his show was kind of doing his own thing in Harlem. So he's like, all right, we're not even gonna fuck with bro. We're gonna leave. He not fucking with us. We're not gonna fuck with him. Jessica's probably just like minding her business too. He's like, oh, whatever. I don't care. That bitch probably drunk somewhere in the alley somewhere. And then like Danny, I believe at the end of his show, he was over in Asia. So, I mean, look, it's been like, and in the timeline of the universe, it's been like 10 years for Danny. So maybe he's back in New York, but I don't know. I feel like Fisk is basically like, look, Matt, dealing with Daredevil is one thing and dealing with Punisher is one thing. If we have to deal with all of these niggas, and you got to remember Spider-Man's here too, even though he can't appear in the show, I feel like they will find some type of way to include him in there as well. So it's like, you have all these vigilantes running around in New York. If they were to team up, he knows that's too much for him to handle. So he's not gonna fuck with certain people. But now that Vanessa's dead, the episode's called, I think it's called The Gloves Are Off, if I'm not mistaken. The title of this episode, yeah, it's called Gloves Off. So the gloves are off, and he's coming after everybody now. So we'll see how that plays out too. That shit, there's gonna be hell to pay. Man, this episode was really good. I didn't even talk about the Michael Gandolfini stuff because I like that too. I like this whole interaction, this whole cat and mouse game that BB and Michael Gandolfini are playing with each other. But I think that, again, if they had more time, I think people would like this storyline more, me, myself included, because I like it. But I think I would love it if we were giving it more time and giving, these actors and characters more time to really let the situation, evolve and breathe in a proper way. But regardless, man, this episode I would say is a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, man. Like, this show just keeps escalating and getting better, bro. So yeah, with that being said, I want to go ahead and close the reaction out here, or the review out here. Hop in the comment section and let me know what you guys think. Am I tripping? Or do y'all agree with me? Do y'all agree with the theories I've been having? Let me know in the comment section down below. As always, like, subscribe, and share. Emphasis on all that. And yeah, y'all, thanks for tuning in. Peace. Be easy.